Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host, Fondue. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about a very special holiday, National Cheeseball Day.
Ooh, it's my special day.
We're going to learn a little bit about cheeseballs.
That's me.
We're going to learn a little bit about fried cheeseballs.
What? Why?
We're going to learn a little bit about ball cheese.
Okay.
And we're going to tell a very cheesy joke.
Here we are.
Stay tuned for extra special episode number 22 of Just Cheesy, the podcast. So, Cheesy, do you know what today is?
Easter.
Right, but what makes today extra special? Today
Easter.
is April 17th.
Easter?
What is today?
Easter, I don't know.
It's National Cheeseball Day.
Oh, that's right.
It's your own very special day.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have any idea how cheeseballs began?
Not a clue.
Well, if you remember back in episode 14, we talked about presidents and cheese.
Yeah.
And if you remember in that episode about the 900 cows it took to make a 1,200-pound cheese called the mammoth cheese.
Holy cow.
I originally thought they meant a wheel of cheese,
Me
but
too.
apparently they made a cheese ball.
Oh.
According to JesseYancey.com, in an article called Cheeseballs, A Political History, they talk about the mammoth cheese in 1801 being donated to the president at the time, who was Thomas Jefferson.
Okay.
But cheeseballs as we know it don't actually appear until 1944.
Really?
Virginia Stafford was a columnist for the Minneapolis Star. It said that she aspired to, quote, eat her way around the world.
Eat her way around the world.
She wrote a book called Food of My Friends. In it, she describes a cheeseball made by one of her friends. In a follow-up book called Friends and Their Food in 1969, she features recipes for cheese in the round and cheese rolls.
Aw.
And eventually, the cheeseball really found its place in the 1970s.
Yeah, it did.
It seems that after the 70s, the cheeseball basically went out of favor for a while.
Why?
There doesn't seem to be a definitive reason as to why. Perhaps it's because we started becoming diet conscious in the 80s. I don't really know.
That's sad.
According to nationaltoday.com, we start to see a renaissance of the cheeseball starting in 2002.
Ooh, that's good.
Amy Sedaris and her brother wrote a play about cheeseballs titled The Book of Liz.
A play?
Amy Sedaris also appeared with Martha Stewart making her famous cheeseball,
Fancy.
which she calls the Little Smoky Cheeseball.
Yum.
In 2003, the New York Times tries to give cheeseballs a bad rep.
Aw, no way.
Amanda Hesser wrote, cheeseballs tend to be associated with shag rugs and tinsel, symbols of middle class and middle brow.
Not cool, Amanda.
Maybe we should write a rebuttal book.
Is it called High Class and Super Tasty?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But never fear, Michelle Baffardi came out with a book in 2013 called Great Balls of Cheese.
Aw.
It's an entire book dedicated to cheese balls.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
There are over 50 recipes inside.
50. Holy cow.
I mean, and they're both savory and sweet. They do cheddar, blue cheese, buffalo.
Yum.
Some of them are Bing cherry and rum and pecan. There's
Ooh.
all kinds of cheese balls in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
I realize now that we're a little bit more than halfway in, and it's possible our listeners don't know what a cheese ball actually is.
There's no way.
I wouldn't think so, but maybe we should tell them.
Go for it.
It's essentially a cheese spread that you use to put on crackers.
Yum.
Most recipes call for cream cheese, shredded cheese, and a flavoring of some sort. I've been known to make a mean cheese ball myself.
You have?
I sure have. I'm going to put a few recipes in our show notes this week so you can have them for yourself.
Nice.
And if you follow us on Pinterest or Instagram, I'm going to actually include some pictures with this week's show.
Oh, that's exciting.
But my favorite recipe is 1 8-ounce stick of cream cheese,
1 stick,
1 12-ounce bag of shredded cheddar,
shredded cheddar,
1 packet of the 1.4-ounce vegetable recipe mix from Knorr,
Ooh.
Knorr.
Knorr, okay.
Mix your cream cheese,
Okay.
your shredded cheese, half the bag,
Okay.
and the entire packet of Knorr.
All right.
Smush it all up into a ball
Smush it. Smush it real good.
and roll that ball in the remaining
Roll it up.
cheddar cheese. Let it refrigerate for about an hour or two.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Ooh.
Plop it on a table, put out some crackers, and now you've got a delicious cheese ball.
So yummy.
Knorr Vegetable Mix, not a sponsor,
Nope.
but if they were, their ad would go right here. Just Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Anchor.
What? Like the metal thingy that holds boats in the water?
No, Cheesy. Like Anchor app.
What's the Anchor app?
Anchor's the host that we use for Just Cheesy the Podcast.
Really?
Anchor allows you to record and edit straight from your phone or your computer.
Wow.
When you host on Anchor like we do, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Apple Podcast, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, Spotify, and there's even an RSS feed.
Ooh.
The feed allows your podcast to appear in places like Good Pods.
Wow.
And best of all, Anchor is totally free.
No.
Yep, that's right, free.
Holy cow.
Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now, back to the podcast. Can you name another type of cheese ball, Cheesy?
There are more types of cheese balls?
Yep. We're going to talk about 3 more.
Really?
Can you name one?
Cheese ball.
Okay.
Cheese ball.
Okay.
And cheese ball.
Well, one of the cheese balls is called cheese puff.
Cheese puff.
If you remember back to episode number 16, we talked about National Cheese Doodle Day.
Oh, that's right.
And we discussed
Cheese
cheese puffs. That's right. Cheese puffs were invented in the 1930s.
Oh, yeah.
And according to Wikipedia, if you remember, they were manufactured by extruding heated corn
Okay.
through a die that forms a particular shape.
That's right.
They're similar to a Cheeto, and they can be shaped like a ball. They can be curly. They can be straight. They can be pretty much any shape you can think of.
Wow.
According to checkaday.com, their National Cheeseball Day entry, they describe the flavor as similar to cheese curls or like Cheetos.
Ooh.
They say they're airy but crunchy.
Yum.
They leave an orange stain on your fingers when you eat them.
Oh.
Do you know another type of cheese ball, Cheesy?
Nope.
Some people refer to fried cheese as a cheese ball.
Oh.
According to iFood.tv, they say there's some basic ingredients for these cheese balls.
Like what?
Some of them use grated cheese for the stuffing,
Okay.
and they have contents like corn flour or regular flour, breadcrumbs, or sometimes they even have mashed potatoes for the coating.
Mashed potatoes?
They go on to say there are sometimes additional ingredients,
Okay.
such as spinach, pineapple, bacon, shrimp,
Shrimp?
potato, corn,
What?
or even chocolate chips.
Chocolate chips.
They say you roll the ingredients into a ball,
Okay.
you batter the ingredients,
Right.
and then you deep fry the entire ball.
Oh, yum.
Most of the time, these are served with dipping sauces.
That sounds so good.
So we have one more type of cheese to talk about today.
Okay.
It's called ball cheese.
Ew.
Don't confuse it with the slang term,
Ew,
and
no.
I do not recommend looking that up.
No, 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 no.
We're talking about the Italian cheese in the shape of a ball called
Oh, boy.
bocconcini,
That sounds right.
which means small mouthful.
Oh, my.
Stop it.
Okay.
They are small mozzarella cheese balls the size of an egg.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia, they originated in Naples, and it's a small, rindless, unripened, mild cheese.
Wow.
And at one time, they were only made from the milk of a water buffalo.
Really?
Now they're a mix of cow and water buffalo.
Okay.
They're packaged in whey and water, have a spongy texture, and they absorb other flavors. And if you're wondering what is the difference between this and mozzarella,
I was.
it's basically the size.
Okay.
Mozzarella is typically the size of an orange,
Oh.
while this is the size of an egg.
I got it.
So that's it. That's basically everything that I know about cheese balls.
Thanks, Fondue. I'm ready for a joke now.
Why did the grilled cheese cry?
I don't know why.
Because it was having a meltdown. Get it? Meltdown.
Oh, my goodness, Fondue. Why? Oh, why?
Because I'm a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to episode number 22.
Thank you.
Don't forget to check us out on Pinterest and Instagram this week
Yeah.
as we celebrate Cheesy's big day.
Woo-hoo. Stay cheesy, everybody.